My wife looked me in the eye and said, "I slept with my boss." So what? I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just nodded and stayed. What happened next changed everything I thought I knew about love and loyalty. I guess I should start by saying I'm not the kind of guy who ever thought this would happen to him. I'm not naive. I've seen enough of life to know people cheat, marriages fall apart, and sometimes you wake up next to someone you don't recognize anymore. But I always thought if something like that happened to me, I'd feel it coming. I'd sense the shift. I'd notice the coldness, the distance, the late nights. I didn't. Or maybe I did and just didn't want to admit it. Her name's Rachel. We've been married 12 years. Met in college, got married 2 years after graduation. She was studying marketing, I was doing finance. We moved to Charlotte, North Carolina, for my job first, then she got hired at a mid-sized tech company downtown. She climbed fast. She's sharp, confident, knows how to talk to people. I always admired that about her. I'm quieter, more reserved. I work in risk management for a bank. It's not glamorous, but it pays well and I'm good at it. We never had kids. Not because we didn't want them, but because it just never happened. We tried for a while, then stopped trying, then stopped talking about it. I think that's when things started to shift, though I didn't realize it at the time. We filled the silence with work, travel, dinners with friends, Netflix. We were still affectionate, still had sex, though less often. I didn't think we were unhappy. I thought we were just settled. About 6 months ago, she started working longer hours. Said they were launching a new product line, lots of meetings, lots of pressure. I believed her. Why wouldn't I? She's always been ambitious, and I knew she wanted to make VP. She started going in early, coming home late. Sometimes she'd be too tired to talk, just pour a glass of wine and scroll through her phone. I'd ask how her day was, she'd say busy, and leave it at that. I didn't push. I figured she'd open up when she was ready. Then one Saturday morning, we were having coffee on the porch. It was quiet, sunny, birds chirping. She looked at me and said, "I need to tell you something." I thought maybe she was sick, or quitting her job, or something serious like that. I wasn't prepared for what came next. "I've been sleeping with my boss," she said. Just like that. No emotion, no build-up. "It's been going on for a few months. I thought you should know." I didn't say anything. I just stared at her. She took a sip of her coffee, like she just told me she bought a new pair of shoes. Then she added, "And what? You're not going to yell? Throw something? Ask me why." I didn't. I couldn't. I felt like someone had hit pause on my brain. I wasn't angry. I wasn't sad. I was just blank. I looked at her and saw someone I didn't know. Not because she cheated, but because of how calmly she said it. Like it didn't matter. Like I didn't matter. I asked her if she loved him. She said no. I asked her if she was going to leave me. She said she didn't know. I asked her why she told me. She said she was tired of hiding it. That was it. No tears, no apologies, no explanations. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I didn't beg. I just nodded and went inside. I sat on the couch for hours, staring at the wall. She went out that afternoon, said she had errands. I didn't ask where. I didn't care. That night, I slept in the guest room. She didn't ask why. We didn't talk. The next morning, she made pancakes like nothing had happened. I ate them. We watched TV. We went grocery shopping. It was surreal. Like we were playing house, pretending everything was fine. Over the next few weeks, I kept waiting for something to change. For her to say she was sorry. For me to explode. For us to have a real conversation. It never happened. We just kept going. Work, dinner, repeat. I started noticing things. Her phone always face down. Her perfume stronger. She'd hum to herself while getting ready, something she hadn't done in years. She was happier. Not with me, but in general. Like something had been lifted off her shoulders. I didn't confront her. I didn't ask questions. I didn't tell anyone. I just lived in it. I went to work, smiled at colleagues, made small talk. I mowed the lawn, paid the bills, folded laundry. I became a ghost in my own life. Sometimes I'd look at her and wonder what she saw when she looked at me. Did she feel guilty? Did she even think about me when she was with him? Was I just a placeholder, a roommate, a safety net? I started drinking more. Not heavily, just enough to take the edge off. A beer after work, a whiskey before bed. I'd sit on the porch and stare at the street, wondering how many other houses held secrets like mine. One night, I asked her if she was still seeing him. She said yes. I asked if she was in love with him now. She said no. I asked if she wanted me to leave. She said, "Do you want to?" I said I didn't know. She said, "Then stay." So I stayed. Not because I forgave her. Not because I loved her. But because I didn't know what else to do. I didn't have a plan. I didn't have the energy to start over. I didn't want to explain to friends, to family, to myself. I started sleeping in our bed again. She didn't say anything. We had sex once, a few weeks after her confession. It was mechanical, quiet, like checking a box. Afterward, she rolled over and fell asleep. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling. I thought about leaving. I looked at apartments online. I even toured one. It was small, clean, quiet. I imagined myself there, alone, starting fresh. But I didn't sign anything. I didn't go back. I told myself I was waiting. For what? I didn't know. Maybe for her to end it. Maybe for me to feel something. Maybe for the universe to give me a sign. None came. A few months passed. The seasons changed. Our routine stayed the same. Rachel kept working late. I kept pretending not to notice. We stopped touching each other. Not just physically, emotionally, too. We became polite strangers. We talk about groceries, bills, the weather. Never about us. Never about him. I started going to the gym more. Not to get fit, but to kill time. I'd lift weights, run on the treadmill, sit in the sauna until my skin felt numb. I liked the silence. No one asked questions. No one knew me. I could be anyone. One night, I stayed out late. Went to a bar near the office. Had a few drinks. Talked to the bartender. She was nice. Asked if I was okay. I said I was fine. She said I didn't look fine. I laughed. She didn't. I went home around midnight. Rachel was asleep. I watched her for a while. She looked peaceful. I hated that. I started writing things down. Not a journal, just scraps of thoughts. On napkins, receipts, the backs of envelopes. Things like, what does loyalty mean, and would she care if I disappeared? I didn't show them to anyone. I didn't even read them back. I just needed to get the noise out of my head. One Saturday, I saw her boss. We were at a company event, some charity thing. I wasn't going to go, but she said it would look bad if I didn't. So I went. Wore a suit. Played the part. He was younger than I expected. Maybe mid-30s. Tall, confident, expensive watch. He shook my hand, looked me in the eye, said, "Nice to meet you." I nodded. Rachel stood beside him, laughing at something he said. She didn't look at me. I watched them all night. The way she leaned in when he talked. The way he touched her arm. The way they moved like they belonged together. I felt invisible. I left early. Took a cab home. Sat in the dark. That night, I thought about packing a bag. Just leaving. No note, no explanation. Just gone. I even pulled out a suitcase. Put in some clothes. Then I sat on the edge of the bed and stared at it. I couldn't do it. Not because I was scared. Because I didn't care enough. I realized I wasn't heartbroken. I wasn't jealous. I wasn't angry. I was numb. She had broken something in me, and I didn't know how to fix it. I didn't even know if I wanted to. A few days later, she asked if I wanted to go away for the weekend. Said she booked a cabin in the mountains. I said okay. I didn't ask why. We drove up Friday afternoon. It was quiet, beautiful. Trees, birds, fresh air. We made dinner together. Drank wine. Sat by the fire. She looked at me and said, "Do you hate me?" I said no. She said, "Do you love me?" I said I didn't know. She nodded. Said, "Fair enough." That was it. No tears. No drama. We slept in the same bed that night. She reached for my hand. I let her. It felt strange. Familiar and foreign at the same time. Like touching a memory. The next morning, we went hiking. She talked about work, her parents, a book she was reading. I listened. I didn't say much. I kept thinking about how easy it was for her. How normal she made it all seem. On the drive home, she asked if I wanted to go to therapy. I said maybe. She said she'd find someone. I didn't follow up. She didn't either. Weeks passed. Nothing changed. We were still married. Still living together. Still pretending. I stopped asking questions. She stopped offering answers. We were in a quiet war. No battles, no victories. Just silence. One night, I came home and found her crying. First time in months. She said he ended it. Said he got promoted and moved to another city. Said she felt stupid. I didn't comfort her. I didn't say anything. I just stood there. She looked at me and said, "I don't know what I want." I said, "Neither do I." She said, "Can we start over?" I said, "I don't think so." She nodded. Wiped her face. Went to bed. I slept on the couch that night. Not because I was angry. Because I needed space. I stared at the ceiling and thought about the last 12 years. The good, the bad, the quiet moments. I didn't feel anything. The next morning, I made coffee. She joined me. We sat in silence. She said, "I'm sorry." I said, "Okay." She said, "Do you want to leave?" I said, "I think I already did." That was the beginning of the end. We didn't fight. We didn't scream. We just unraveled. Slowly, quietly. Like a thread coming loose. A month later, I moved out. Got a small apartment near the office. Clean, quiet, empty. I liked it. No memories. No ghosts. We didn't divorce right away. Took time. Papers, lawyers, signatures. We were civil, polite, efficient. Sometimes I see her on social media. Smiling, traveling, living. I don't feel anything. Not love, not hate. Just distance. People ask what happened. I say, we grew apart. It's easier than explaining the truth. That she cheated. That I stayed. That we both stopped caring. I don't regret staying. I don't regret leaving. I just wish I'd known myself better. Maybe then I'd have seen it coming. Maybe then I'd have left sooner. But I didn't. And that's my story. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this.